Hi little craft makers! Today we're going to make this awesome tissue paper stained glass art. It's really easy and really fun. Are you ready? Let's get started. All we need for this craft is some wax paper, different colors of tissue paper that I've already cut into lots of little different shapes, and some glue. So what we're going to do first is we're going to cut out a piece of wax paper, and that's going to be like our canvas for our stained glass. So we're just going to cut out a piece that is not too big, probably about this size. So take your scissors and be very careful, because remember, scissors are sharp. So ask a grown-up if you're allowed to use scissors. If you're not, ask them if they can help you really fast. For now, we're just going to use that one piece, and we're going to unroll it. Sometimes the wax paper is really rolly and we're going to want it flat. So what I usually do is I take like my scissors or something else that I'm using and hold down the edges with it. Now, the way that we're going to be sticking our tissue paper to our wax paper to make our stained glass is with glue. But this glue is a little bit too thick. So any glue you use is going to be a little too thick for this project. So we're going to water it down. You can also use something called Mod Podge that you can get at pretty much any craft store, but we're going to make our own, and I'm going to show you how. It's really simple. All you're going to do is take a cup, and in this cup I just have a tiny bit of water. And I'm just going to take this glue and I'm going to squeeze it in. Ready? Here we go. I'm going to squeeze it in. And then, so can you see in there, I've got water and glue. And then I'm going to take this paintbrush and I'm just going to mix it up. Now that my glue is all mixed into my water and it's looking a little bit like milk, that's exactly how you want it to be. It's pretty drippy and pretty thin, and that's okay, because what we're going to do next is we are going to start adding our tissue paper to our wax paper. And when you're all done, you're going to be able to put it on a window and see the colors through your wax paper. So I'm going to use these scissors and this glue bottle to help hold that down. And then I'm going to start making whatever design I want. I think I'm going to make a rainbow. I've seen other kids make faces, different flowers, puppies, whatever sounds good to you. And you don't have to use these colors either. You can get tissue paper in lots of different colors. You can use any colors that you love. So I'm going to make a rainbow. I don't have exactly rainbow colors, but it's going to be kind of a bright and really pink rainbow. So start by just brushing on some of that glue and water mixture. And you're going to see that it's going to make little droplets on the paper, and that is totally fine. So put that on there. And then take your tissue paper and just stick it on. And that's it. Because it's really watery, it sticks really easy. So I'm going to work on making my rainbow, and then we'll go to the next step. So work your way around your picture, and if it ever seems like your glue is getting dry, just add a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to make these shapes go all the way around like a rainbow. And you'll notice that I'm not doing the whole page full of glue yet. I'm doing a little bit at a time. And the reason I do that is because I don't want it to all dry too fast, because I don't want to waste it. It's okay if it does dry really fast, because you can always make some more. but I just do a little spot at a time. So now that I've filled up that spot, I'm going to go ahead and paint on some more. Okay, so I'm part of the way done with my rainbow, and now I'm just gonna keep adding my colors in there. And I'm gonna add some more glue over here because it looks like this got a little bit dry. And I'm gonna put the tissue paper colors, I'm gonna add a little glue to the top of the tissue paper I already put on because I'm gonna overlap them. So I'm gonna set them right on top of the other. For this rainbow, I'm not gonna follow all the rainbow rules. So I'm gonna actually go dark pink to light pink to this really awesome green and then this pretty teal blue. So I'm overlapping onto the tissue paper that I already put down. And when you put that in the window, you're gonna be able to see the sunshine through even 2 layers of paper. That's why we use tissue paper. I'll hold it up for you so you can start to see what it's going to be like when you put it in the window. All that glue will dry, so you won't see those glue drops. You'll only see your pretty picture. And now that I've got some tissue paper on there, it lays flat, so I don't have to hold it down so much anymore. So I'm going to brush on some more, and I'm going to get to work on that green. Okay, green is done. Now all I need to do is add my blue and then my rainbow will be done and we can move on to the final step. So let's add some more glue and get the blue done. All right. See, we've got a rainbow. So you can actually see through it. Here's what it looks like on the other side. So you can see the colors are not as bright, but it's kind of cool because that's what makes it kind of like a stained glass because you can see through it. So the light shines through your colors. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to cut another piece of wax paper. So we're gonna cut a piece of wax paper to be about the same size as the one that we just put the tissue paper on. Get it as close to it as you can. So just lay it on top and then we're just going to cut it. Okay, so you can set that aside and we're just going to lay it right on top. You can see the glue kind of squishes in there, which is perfect. That's gonna make sure it sticks together. And then it's time to ask a grown-up for help. We're going to iron these pieces together. I've grabbed my iron now and I turned it to a low temperature. So you don't want it too hot because you could really melt this wax paper. And we're only trying to just get the 2 wax papers to stick together, not to completely melt. So keep it on a low temperature and make sure that the steam is off. You don't want to steam it. Now, we don't want to put the iron right on top of our artwork because that could actually melt it. So we're going to take a paper towel and just place it on top of our artwork, and then we are going to put our iron on and just keep moving it around. And we're going to do this for a little while. We don't want it to get too hot too fast, so just keep moving it. And then every minute or so you can check it and see if the wax paper, the 2 layers of the wax paper are starting to stick together. If they're starting to stick together, you're doing awesome and you're almost done. You can see now it's starting to stick together. Do you see how it was curling before apart from each other and now they're starting to stick together? So I'm gonna work over here on this corner let's see. That looks pretty good because what we're gonna do is we're going to make a frame. So you can see it looks so pretty with the light shining through it. It looks so nice in a window like that. So I think it's a beautiful piece of artwork and it deserves a frame. Let's take 2 pieces of construction paper. I like to use 2 different colors and we're gonna just line them up right next to each other, just like this, okay? Now what we're gonna do is we are going to take our artwork and lay it right on top of the construction paper. Now, take a marker, a pen, a pencil, and just draw an outline of how big your artwork is. And doesn't need to be perfect, just to give you an idea of how big your artwork is, okay? Hold the paper down so it doesn't move too much. Okay. Now what we're gonna do, we'll move our artwork over and we're going to cut inside that line. Because what we want, you'll see, we want the frame to go a little bit over the top of our artwork so we don't see these edges right here, okay? So I'll just go a little farther in. You see how I'm not cutting right on the line, I'm cutting right next to it, okay? So cut next to it, and it's okay that there's a marker line. What we're gonna do is we're gonna flip it over and you'll never see that marker line, okay? If you wanted to, you could use a pencil and then erase it when you're done, and then that line will be gone forever. Or you don't have to worry about it at all, okay? So cut next to that line again, turn it, cut. Be very careful with your scissors. You don't need to go too fast. You don't want to cut yourself. Scissors are sharp, so just be careful. Okay. Now what we're gonna do, we've got our frame. We're gonna glue it on top of our artwork. So take your artwork and flip your frame over to the part that doesn't have the marker on it, okay? And you can see how we're going to glue it on. See? Just like that. Okay. So take your glue and we're gonna do a line of glue all around the outside. You can use craft glue, you can use school glue. I wouldn't use hot glue for this because first, it'll melt the wax paper, and second, you have to move so fast with hot glue that you wouldn't get your frame on in time. So now take your frame and just stick it on your glue. Okay? There's a lot of different ways that you can do frames. This is just one of my favorites because it's a really easy way to do it and to get it the right size. I'm gonna add a little glue, and then mine overlaps a little bit, so I'm just gonna put a circle of glue there and stick it down, and a circle of glue there and stick it down. All right, are you ready to see it? Well, here it is. I finished it off with just writing little craft makers, adding some sunshine and some glitter, and I think that finished it perfectly. It's ready to hang in my window for everyone to see and to see these beautiful colors. I hope you really enjoyed this craft. I think it's really fun and really easy to do with any of your friends or family members. I hope you try it and send me your picture when you do it. I would love to see it. Stay tuned because I have a lot more crafts to come and they're gonna be really fun. Bye! If you liked this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. I'll be posting new crafts every Wednesday and Saturday, so don't forget to subscribe.